one of the first choices you're going to have to make is what membership site script do you use. There's lots and lots of them on the market, but which one's the best one for you? Well, unfortunately, this isn't a black and white thing. That I can't say to you that's the best script, because it may not be. The best script depends on a number of different options, and what we're going to do in this video is talk about what the different membership scripts do, what questions to ask, and basically help you, point you in the right direction for choosing a membership script for your site. Now, you've got to really think about this, because you don't want to go out and spend $1,000 say on a membership site script and then go, oh well, it's not really what I wanted. You want to get it right first time, because it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's bordering on impossible to change your membership site script. Once I've committed and I've got a site running and it's got members on it, if I want to move scripts, it's going to be a headache. It really, really is. It's going to be an absolute nightmare. I'm probably going to lose members. It's going to cause me all sorts of hassle. So it really is a decision that you want to get right first time. Now, you can find scripts that will cost you nothing, and you find scripts that will cost you $5,000 to $10,000. It's up to you which one you use. It depends on a number of factors. So hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have an idea of what you need to consider when you pick a membership site. The features vary greatly between scripts. I don't want you to sit and think that you've got to buy an expensive script because that's going to have the best features. That's not necessarily the case. What often happens with membership site scripts is if someone's launching a new one, they'll often start at a low price, and then over sort of 6 months to a year, as they add features, they'll increase the price. So features do not determine the price. So you may find that there's some cheap or low value membership site scripts which actually have more features than some of the more expensive ones. Now, just consider that as well. Also, bear in mind that some membership site scripts require you to purchase add-ons. So you buy like the core package. It's like, if you go out and buy a BMW, they basically give you a metal box on 4 wheels, and then you have to add in all the other things you want, like seats and lights and a radio, a CD player, and so on. So some of the membership site scripts are like that. You get the chassis, and then you have to add all the other bits onto it later, which increases the cost. It gives you a lot more flexibility, yes, and you can pick and choose what you want. However, it isn't necessarily going to be the best thing for you. So think about it carefully and weigh up the pros and cons before you go for a script like that. Some of them are very, very good, and there's an awful lot of features on them. But unfortunately, as I said, it can end up costing you a lot of money, because what a lot of people do in that situation is they go, oh, well, I might use that, I'll have that. Well, I might use that, I'll buy that as well. And instead of just buying the bits that they need, they buy all the things that they might need. And of course, that bumps the price right up. So before you can pick a membership site script, you need to understand how you're going to use it. You got that, what do you want to do with it? Do you want a drip feed content? Do you want different levels of membership? Do you want something that runs on autopilot? What do you actually want? You need to understand that before you can truly pick your membership site script. You need to know what features you're going to use right now and in the immediate future on the site that you're considering. Don't sit there and look at features and go, well, I might use that. I don't want it now, but I might use it on another site in the future. I mean, it's up to you, but those sort of things quite often don't pan out, and it gets to the future and you sit there and go, well, I've never used that feature. So quite often that's what really happens. So think about what you can use right now and in the immediate future. But ultimately, you want to buy something that does what you want. Don't go out and buy something because it has bells and whistles and is the latest, greatest thing from the big name guru, whatever they might be called. Buy something that does what you want, and it will do you right. That's the most important thing. Does it meet your needs and your requirements? So what questions do you need to ask about a script? Well, obviously you need to have an idea of budget. Can you afford $1,000 for a script? Have you even got a budget? Are you looking for something free? Are you looking for something that will just cost you a couple of $100s? How much money can you afford to spend on a script? Bear in mind that the script will obviously be part of the expenses for setting up the site. So, you know, if your scripts cost you $5,000, you're going to have to make minimum of $5,000 before the site becomes profitable. But also, you've also got to consider, again, this comes in the whole budget thing, is it a site license or a single server license? Can you use it on as many servers as you want, or just on one domain? That, again, can influence the budget, because, you know, if it's going to cost me $500 to use on as many sites as I want, or $300 to use on one, well, it's a no-brainer to go for the $500 one, because then I can set up multiple membership sites. And that is very, very important to understand. Do you want a single license or a multiple site license? Software such as AMember, for example, tends to be single site license, so you can use it on one domain. Other software such as Launch Formula Marketing, for example, is a multiple site license. You can use it wherever you want on any site that you own. Now, AMember, I think, is a couple of $100. I believe Launch Formula Marketing is either $500 or $1,000. We'll look at that in the next video. But you can see there's a significant difference. But if I'm setting up 5 membership sites, and you know it's going to cost me $200 a time for AMember, then you know maybe Launch Formula Marketing isn't too bad, because that's $1,000. You know, for example. So you can see the single and multi-site license does influence your budget. Are you planning on displaying login offers and one-time offers to them? Does the script support the ability to show your buyers and your members different offers? That can affect the profitability of the site quite significantly. How easy is it to use? There's some scripts I've used, I'm not going to mention any names, but there's some scripts I've used that frankly, unless you have a degree in rocket science, you haven't got a hope. You really haven't. There's other ones that your 2-year-old could set up for you. So, you know, how easy is it for you to use? Are you a technically minded person or not? If you're not, then you have to consider the costs of outsourcing installation and setup, and maybe even administration or maintenance or whatever. So you have to consider that as well. That can affect your budget and affect your decision on which script to buy. Do they provide a guarantee period? Is it 30 days, 90 days, a year, a lifetime? Guarantee period can be important, because if you're setting up a site and you're experimenting with a new script, you may want 3 or 4 months to look at it in order to say, well, I've had to play and it's not quite right for me. Dreadfully sorry, can I have my money back? And they'll honour it. But the last thing you want is for it to be a 30-day money-back guarantee, and life happens as it does, and it's 2 months before you get to look at it, and then you go, well, it doesn't do what I want it to do, and then you ask for a refund. They go, well, 30 days is up, tough, bye. Make sure the guarantee period is suitable for you and your needs. What support do you get? Now, some of these scripts will offer good support, others not so good. Some of them do fantastic support through forums and have a big user community, and the user community does a lot of support. So consider the level of support, and is it through a help desk? Is it through forums? Are you in touch directly with the programmers, or are you speaking to a marketer and the programmers are sort of hiding behind him somewhere? So think about the level of support you get for the script. Another influencing factor that again can influence your choice of budget is, are lifetime upgrades free or not? Now again, I'm coming back to the same 2 scripts because I know them very well. AMember doesn't provide you with lifetime upgrades. I think it's either 6 or 12 months of upgrades, and after that you have to pay, and you pay for a further 6 months worth of upgrades. Now that's all well and good, but you may or may not want the upgrades. If you don't, it's not a problem. But if they bring out new features, you think, great, I can use that on my site, and you've got to pay for it, then you're going to be a bit annoyed. Now, other ones like Launch Formula Marketing provides lifetime upgrades for free. Many of the others do. So you've got to understand, are the upgrades going to be free or cost you money? Remember, before you install any upgrades, though, do you actually need it? Don't just go installing them, because who knows what's going to happen. But do you need them? Make sure that you understand this. Another good question to ask yourself is, how long has the script been around? Is it something that somebody created last week, Or is it something that's been around for years? Something that's been around for a long time. A member's been around for quite a while. Launch Formula Marketing, I think that's been around 3 or 4 years. And many of the others, they have that long-term backing, so you know it's going to be there. You know it's good. You know it's solid and reliable. But other scripts, you may be a bit wary. Are you going to find that the company goes under in the next 6 months, or the marketer decides not to continue supporting it any further? You just don't know. But you do need to understand how long it's been there, because again, that could be an influencing factor. It can affect your choice quite significantly. One thing you may or may not want is, can it drip feed content? Will the only way it gives you content is you have to go in each month and set up a web page and upload the content, and there it all is? Or can you drip feed the content automatically over a 6 or 12 month period? If you can, it puts your business on autopilot, which of course is a wonderful, wonderful thing. How easy is it for you, not for anyone else, but for you personally, to install, set up, administrate, use, add products to, add new members to, etc., etc. If you're not technically minded, you may find that the script is difficult to install. Now, there's a couple of scripts that I've looked at, and frankly, I mean, I am technically minded. I'm very good with computers. I've been using them for more years than I care to remember. I know them pretty much inside out. I know scripts and software, etc., etc. And there's some scripts which I cannot install and get working properly, and it's an absolute nightmare. Some of them, the instructions are dreadful. Some of them, they're just badly written. But there are others, there's one in particular I can think of, that I click 2 buttons and it's like magic. It's installed and ready to use. So think about that. Can you do it yourself, or do you need to outsource it? Can you offer different levels of membership? Can you do free, silver, gold and platinum, that sort of thing? You may or may not want to have different levels of membership. You may just have one level, but you may want to have the option of providing different levels. You may have a membership site now where you just have the one level, but you may think, well, in 6 months' time, what I can do is I can add an extra level for advanced members, or an advanced training course or something like that. This is the other thing as well, is can members easily upgrade their membership from between the different levels? I can't remember which script it is off the top of my head, but I remember there was one script where the only way to get a member to upgrade their membership was for them to cancel their membership and then rejoin at the higher level. I mean, that sort of thing, that could cause problems, because the members are going to go, well, that's a lot of hassle. They don't understand some of the technical limitations that require it to be that way. But can members upgrade their membership relatively easily? You do need to consider that. Can the script handle recurring billing? Now, not all membership site scripts can, because a membership site isn't necessarily based around recurring billing. That is just one of the potential models. Does it provide support for a free membership option? That's very important too. Can people join your site for free? We'll talk about free members very, very shortly, but they can provide an excellent way to rapidly build a list of people who are interested in your site. How well does the script protect your content from theft? The last thing you want is for all your content to be wide open, that anyone with a search engine can type in a few keywords and there's all your valuable content available for free. That's the last thing you want. Does it protect your content from sharing? Can I share out my password with lots of people, or publish it on one of the Wares or other black hat sites so that everybody can use my password in order to access your content? You've got to understand how well it protects your content. Does it plug into other scripts you plan to use? Are you planning on using, I don't know, PHP or another forum or something like that? Does your membership site plug into it? Will it automatically create members? Will it secure the forum from outside nosiness, etc., etc.? These are all questions you need to know. And perhaps one of the most important is, will it work with your web host? Now, some scripts are very funny about which web host they'll work with. I can think of one in particular that if you don't go for the owner's web hosting, you've got no chance of getting it working. Absolutely no chance. There's others that will pretty much work anywhere, and they can work, as I said, literally on any web host. So you've got to understand, does it need curl or Zend or anything like that? If so, does your web host support it, or are you going to need to get a new web host? Again, that's a massively influencing factor for you. Now, you need to consider all of these questions, and you may well have more questions of your own when you set up your own membership site. What script you're going to choose, I cannot tell you. Hands up, I cannot tell you what's the best script for you. What I can do is give you the advice here on which questions to ask and how to evaluate a script. And in the next video, I'll show you a half dozen or so different scripts that you can look at, and different scripts that you may want to say, well, yeah, that's for me, that's not for me. So we're going to look at that now. But write out what you want from your script. Answer all the questions we've asked here. Write it all out, and then look through the different scripts and decide which one's the best one for you. So what I want to do now is just show you. I'm not going to show you the scripts. We're just going to go to sort of the main sales pages, and you can have a look through there. Most of them provide working demos or videos of the inside or something like that. So we're going to have a look at some of the scripts now to give you an idea of some of the more popular and effective scripts that are out there.